Hi, I'm Dan Hunt, Director of the Center for Community Media at Worcester State University. In this video tutorial, we're going to cover how to create a podcast. First, we'll show you how to use a USB microphone to record the podcast. Then, we'll show you how to use the free program Audacity to edit the audio file. And last, we'll show you how to post the MP3 file online so you can share it to your social networking sites and to your website. The Center for Community Media has Samson Go mics that you can check out if you'd like to record your podcast. If you're going to use one of these USB microphones, you'll need to connect it to the computer that you plan to record to. If you are going to use one of the Samson Go mics, there are three settings that you need to learn a little bit more about. The top position is the cardioid setting. This works best for a unidirectional audio source. So if you were just recording your voice, you'd want the Samson logo facing you and you'd speak into the microphone. The middle position is cardioid with a 10 dB pad. Now this is unidirectional, but it also works well with hotspots. And the bottom position, this is the omni pickup pattern. This picks up sound from all directions. So this is better when you are recording an interview and you would like the microphone to pick up someone on the front side of the microphone and somebody on the back side of the microphone. You can pick up this device for about $40 online through Amazon or B&H Photo. And it's a nice little microphone that works well in a variety of settings. Alternatively, if you have a bigger budget, you can pick up something like this Zoom H1 handy recorder. It's a little bit more expensive. This is great for on-location interviews and things of that nature, and it'll record to a micro SD card that you can then later put in your computer for editing. So this is another option, and some people are now getting really good results with their cell phone. But for the purpose of today, we're going to focus on the Samson Go mic and recording directly to your computer. Once you've downloaded the Audacity program from SourceForge's website or another reputable site such as CNET, you will see the Audacity program in your application folder. And if you're using a Mac, you may drag the icon to your taskbar or put it on your desktop, and it looks like a sound wave with a headset. One of the first things you should do once you open a new file in Audacity, so you do that just by File and then hit the New button, is making sure that you have the right mic input. So here you could use your built-in microphone, or you could use the Samson Go mic like we're going to do. Once you're in Audacity, it should look pretty familiar. There's a pause button, a play button, a stop button, ways to go forward and back, and a record button. The other important icons that you should pay attention to right away is your selection tool, your envelope tool, your zoom tool, and your time shift tool. There are other functions within the program that are worth noting, but for this tutorial we're going to try to keep it very simple. First, let's try to record an audio track in Audacity. To do this, it's very simple. Just hit the record icon. Hi, this is Dan Hunt, the Director of the Center for Community Media at Worcester State University, and you're listening to a podcast tutorial. And we can play that back. Hi, this is Dan Hunt, the Director of the Center for Community Media at Worcester State University, and you're listening to a podcast tutorial. Okay. Now, if you want to edit the track, if you don't like the dead space or there are vocalized pauses or anything of that nature, you use your selection tool, you highlight whatever it is you want to delete, and you can either use your delete button on your keyboard or this scissor icon to cut. And I'm just going to edit out the dead space at the beginning and the end to show you how this works. If there's something very specific you're trying to get out, like a vocalized pause, sometimes it's easier to blow up the sound wave by zooming in and just highlighting that little tiny piece that you need to highlight. But for now, we'll kind of keep it back to the way it looked before. So now we have, and you're listening to a podcast tutorial. Let me just zoom out again. So now we have our audio recording. Next, I'm going to show you how to import a music track and how to edit the music track and the voice track together. To do so, you can import the track. And I recommend using a royalty-free program such as, well, one, you can look through Google for royalty-free music, but we like to use Ben Sound because on his website he tells you the ways in which he would like you to credit his particular music files. So as long as you're using these for educational purposes, you can include them in your podcast. Once you locate the MP3 file that you want to use, this is called Ben Sound Happiness, hit open, and you'll see the music track as its own stereo waveform. So if you want to just listen to this particular music track, I recommend muting the voice track. And you should take some time listening to the music track and figuring out exactly where you want the voice track to come in. For the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to fade in the music, fade the music underneath the voice track, and then at the end fade it up again and fade it out. You can get more creative with the music, you can cut it into different pieces at different points, but we're going to try to keep it simple in this particular tutorial. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on my voice track and I'm going to go back to this time shift tool. I'm going to move it to about here on the music track. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click the envelope tool and I'm going to do something to the music track called adding keyframes. And you might be familiar with this feature if you've done any video editing in the past. What we're really doing is we're plotting little tiny points in the file based on how loud we want it to be. So I'm trying to just have the music fade in or up. Play at around full volume for just a few seconds. And then start to slowly fade under my voice track. And if you make the sound file something like this, you're really not going to hear it at this point. So I'm going to go back to my time shift tool. I'm going to put my voice track in about here, and I'm going to unmute it, and let's listen to them together. Hold on, let me pick my select tool. Hi, this is Dan Hunt, the Director of the Center for Community Media at Worcester State University, and you're listening to a podcast tutorial. So the music there was a little bit long for this very short voice recording, but we are going to, just for the sake of demonstrating how to use the tool, I'm going to show you how to bring it back up at the end. I like to call this sort of the barbell method, where you create like a little barbell looking shape. I'm going to bring it down. Now if I was spending more time on this, I'd zoom in and I'd really try to finesse these keyframes. But I'm just so you get the general idea. And then I'm going to almost go out at the end. And what I'll do now is I'll pick my select tool and I'll highlight the rest of this track and I'll delete it. And that's pretty good. I mean, that's all I really wanted to show you today in this particular program, is how to record audio from a microphone or import a pre-recorded interview, how to add music, and how to adjust the the music so that you can fade it in, fade it out. The other thing that you could do is you could also bring up the volume of the audio track if you needed to, and bring down the volume of the music track. But once you're happy with the way these tracks work together, you want to export the file as an MP3 file so that you can post it online. And to do that in Audacity, you just hit File, Export, and you want to export it as an MP3 file. Now, if you just downloaded Audacity for the first time, you may have had to take an extra step and add a plugin, the LAME or LAME plugin. If you're using a PC or a Mac, you do need this plugin to change the file over to an MP3 file. Otherwise, when you save, it's an Audacity file, and it's not compressed, so you won't be able to put it up on the web. So I'm just going to save this file as an MP3 to my desktop. And this warning is okay. Your tracks will be mixed down to 2 stereo channels in the exported file, and that's what we want to do. We want to compress this file for the web. And you can add some additional data in there if you'd like. So once you have your file and you want to bring it into a social platform that will host your audio, I recommend either Podbean or SoundCloud. To me, lately we're using SoundCloud and Center for Community Media. A lot of people are on SoundCloud listening to music, and it's a very easy to use platform. So first set up your profile. But once you have your profile set up, you can choose the file you want to upload. In this case, it's DanTest MP3. You can retitle at that point. You can decide which genre it is, and they have some pre-selected ones. You can add several different tags if you want it to be found through Google or on Twitter. You can describe your track and give some more detail, and this is where you would credit your music and anybody else that you need to credit. You can add an image for this particular podcast, and you can select if you want it to be private or public. I'm going to hit cancel right now, and I'm going to go back and just show you our homepage. So the Center for Community Media, we have several podcasts posted, and this is what it'll look like once it's posted. So if I click on this one that I just posted very recently, so it doesn't have many views yet, you can see our title, you can see the sound wave, you can see the description, you can see some of the tags we used, you can see the credit for the music, we added a picture, and you can also check your stats. So that's as far as we wanted to get today in this tutorial. You learned how to record using a USB microphone, how to edit in the Audacity platform, and how to post your MP3 file to SoundCloud. Thank you for watching this tutorial video on podcasting. For more of our videos, please follow us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/WSU Media. Or you can follow us on Twitter at MediaWSU. Thank you.